Oh yeah, I'd really like to do that. Um, and then go back and it talks through there. Now here's what we'll do. Once you get done with that, I'll bring us back together and we'll kind of deal with then the last page there, because the last page basically does this. It starts to put together, where am I passionate about? Where am I gifted? And therefore, where should I think about serving? Or what? And really, if you carry out the application of that, where would be a good fit in my career? Because if you just love babies and you have the gift of leadership, well, there's a couple things you could do. You could work in a retirement home and try to run a retirement home. But would you really be passionate about them? No, because you're passionate about babies. But maybe if you were working in a nursery or a daycare kind of thing, but you didn't have the gift of leadership and you were more like, I just want to hang with kids. That's really all I want to do. And maybe you have the gift of like mercy. We could go through all kinds of examples. But you really don't want to lead it. You don't want to do the business of it. You don't want to have to deal with the numbers of it because you're not a detail person. See, and this is where personality starts to become an issue. You know, if you're a detail person, you like to sit down and crunch numbers, and you like to sit there and come up with like how this fits, and you like all that. Then there's aspects of your career or how you serve that might be better. But if you're like more of a people person and you can't stand dealing with numbers, or you're like a big picture kind of person, then you can see how like you're going to have a different focus and you're going to have a different look on things. Or maybe if you think about this, you want to work with people, you want to work with kids, or you want to work with, elderly folk. But people just drain you because you're so introverted. That's not a good career for you then. You're going to walk home drained every day. Going, oh man, I had to spend 12 hours a day hanging out with people. Maybe you'd rather be over here where you could help them, but you don't have to necessarily be with them all day. Now, there's lots of different examples, and there's lots of different angles to this. So here's what I want you to do. Just kind of spend some time working through that, and then we'll break up and kind of spend some time talking about it. Trust me, you're not going to get all of it figured out tonight. We can't cover everything there is to cover in a 4-week series. But here's what the goal really is of the whole series, okay? There's two things. One, that God has made you unique and special. And it doesn't mean necessarily that as you figure something out about yourself that you're pigeonholed in only being able to do that. That isn't necessarily true either. But I do believe that God has hardwired us in some ways that maybe you just haven't figured it out yet. Because I do think that's often the case. Some people that are incredibly extroverted or introverted as a kid, as they grow up and they mature a little bit, they realize, oh, I'm not so much that way. I'm really kind of this way. And that's okay. And God can shape and form and put you in positions that you never would have imagined. That's okay. And part of this is going to be a discovery process. And part of this is why I want you to hold on to this, is because chances are next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you'll go back and look at it and go, yeah, that really is me, but I kind of want to do this now. Maybe my interest has changed. If you remember what I kind of shared about my story, I used to want to train dolphins. I thought that'd be really cool because I like being out and doing adventurous things, and thought that'd be kind of fun. I could hang out with people and train dolphins and all that. And God began to work in my life, and then I started thinking, well, I really like the adventuresome thing, and I thought about working for the Navy and flying for the Navy because I grew up in the airplane world. Flew all kinds of airplanes as I was your age and older. But God didn't seem to want to do that either. And he kept steering me and steering me. But some of my hardwired personality stuff was already in place. It just took me a while to kind of figure out how God wanted to use it. And so that's what I want to just kind of challenge you right now to spend some time. Write out on your sheet there some of those things that just you are passionate about. Also take notice of your blue card because I want you to fill out your blue card, okay? And so here's what I'll do. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes and just spend some time working through that page. And then we're going to break up into our groups and we'll give you about another 10 minutes, 15 or so to kind of talk about it as a group. Your leaders have some questions and things to process and help you in that. And then be thinking about trying to fill out that blue card because actually what I want you to do, I want you to fill it out as best you can and then turn it back into me. And then we're gonna try to take that and as best we can help you figure out how like you can kind of serve, whether here in the youth ministry, whether in the church as a whole, whatever the case. We want to use it as a tool to help you. Excuse me. So cool. Okay. So take a few minutes, work on that, and then I'll get us back and split you up into groups that you can kind of talk through it. Okay.